Ahoy there, and welcome back to Film with the Boys. We now have issue 69 of Hachette's Build the Titanic. We are, as we began last month, on the promenade deck. That's pretty much the entirety of this month. So we are building promenade deck, and by the end of it, we will have that promenade deck complete. I say complete, the base of the promenade deck complete. It would appear that in the next four after the four we've got now, we're starting to build up onto the prom deck. So there's a lot to do on this, but the actual base of the deck will be complete. That does give us a new problem in the fact that we're now storing two full-length decks, but it is what it is. So there's not, unfortunately, there's not loads to do in this. There really isn't, because the bulk of this is laying deck and attaching the sections together. So it's not going to, this is not a very in-depth month, sadly, but it's all necessary. I mean, this is what happens. This is the nature and the economics of part work building. You're going to get things, these have to be done. So it's the way it is. There's still plenty to do, there's still plenty to get our teeth into, and there's still plenty to talk about. So we'll be having our Titanic talks at the end of each episode. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps our channel absolutely massively. We love having you all on for the journey, and we're going all the way to the end of issue 140 of the Titanic, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. Your support's very much appreciated and has helped our channel grow into what it is, and it wouldn't be what it is without any of you. So come along for the ride. Let's get into this. Let's get this open and let's get this one built. You will need the section that you built in issue 68 last month. Other than that, we're good to go. Okay, so let's open our parts for 69. Very large box, this one. And let's see what we have. So as expected, there's some decking. We have AP screws, and we have this large piece here. Make sure there's nothing. Oh, there is something else. Of course, we have something else as well. Let's check what's inside here. Oh, I know what this is. This is a staircase. So this is the. That's nice. There's some nice detail on that. That's nice. It's nice. And then also, on this one, as you can see, we have some flooring on this. So this is, I believe, I'm going to really half-ass this now, but these stairs go around here somewhere and they're leading down into here. I don't know. We'll get to that when we get to it. But let's get this built. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check our decking fits. So that's where our first piece is going to go. Our second piece is going to go over here. Now you can see the curve already on these. So if you want to add some glue to your base, you can. I mean, you don't have to, but you can. It might avoid the curve. And as I said before, some people have reported very badly that their deck's lifting up, and some said they're not affected by it at all. I fortunately am not really affected by it, and I think that has to do with area. I mean, we're building this all around the world, so some people, the humidity is going to affect it. It just is. I mean, I can show you on the one we built last month now. As far as I remember, I added no glue to this, but you know, you can see nothing's peeling, nothing's coming up. So it's yeah, it depends on area, I guess. It really does. But there's no harm if you want to add some glue to this just to give it some extra bond. Go for it. Okay, so I've got this sort of very thin layer of wood glue, and you can barely see it. I'll just give it enough to just give it a little extra bond. I'm going to remove the backing from our decking and see if we can get this lined up nicely to fit to our deck here. So you've got to be careful when taking this backing off because of the nature of this this wood grain. If you pull too hard, you can kind of split the grain, and you don't want to do that. So let's get this in. I think if we aim to get this section in first and get this section in straight, that would be a help, wouldn't it, Scott? There we go. So we're going to smooth down. Make sure you get right into the edges of this. Because if anything that's going to come up, it's the edges that are going to come up. It's not going to suddenly bubble in the middle. The edges is where it's going to do it. So make sure you get the edges nice and pressed down. Because if air starts getting in under there, it's going to start lifting. And we go. So that's that side done. Now I'm going to flip this one round, and I'm going to do the other side. And again, I'll show you this. You just have to be very careful when you take these off. Don't you know, bend it. Try and get this off. Take as long as it takes. And might cause any damage to your actual deck in. See, that's not going for me, so I'm going to find somewhere else, because if I keep picking at that, I'm worried it's going to damage it. But I'll wait to see in real time kind of how long this takes me to do, because I just take my time with it. You don't have to, you might want to be a bit more cavalier with your approach, but there you go. There we go, so off comes this one. Now again, there are holes on this one, so we're going to try and line these up with these 3 very little holes on here. But again, if we get that in right up to the edges there, we should be looking good. So there we are, so that is that deck laid. Get the edges right down. Happy with that. Let's move on. We've got some stairs to add to this. Okay, so taking our staircase here, we're going to flip this one over, and the stairs are going to go in from the bottom. So they're going to link in there, and there are 2 pins there that they will sit over. As you can see, those are in. And we're going to screw this into place with 2 of the AP screws that have been provided. So I'm going to put one in here. Now again, plastic to plastic, so no need for 3-in-1 or lubricant or anything. Let these find their spot. You don't need to over tighten them, that's important as well. Now they've given us a lot of AP screws in this one, which would suggest hold on to them. But I believe that we are going to be attaching the 2 parts of the deck to the remainders. So we'll screw this one in here. And that should be our staircase in place. And there we are. So that's our staircase in place there. Now all that's left to do is to attach this section to the section we built in 68, again using the AP screws. So I'll bring those over and we'll get that done. Okay, so bringing over our section from 68, I'm going to flip this one over, and I'm going to flip this one over too. And these should, and nice go, this end. So staircase end, those will sit in there like so. And we're going to tighten this up with 4 of the AP screws. So again, don't go mad on these. Do not over tighten these, because I mean you'll just destroy the thread, and you don't want to do that. So there's 1. There's 2. There's 3, and then finally 1 more. Four. Okay, so that's now held, and that's how we're looking. So there we go. We have half the promenade deck really, and that's looking good. So happy with that. Let's have a chat. So that's that one done. So we have this rather large section promenade deck already. This is going to double in size by the time we finish this month's pack. If you are just sticking around with the build instructions, thank you for stopping by. Please remember to like and subscribe. Helps us massively, and we really do appreciate your help. In Titanic's tales this week, I've got to address something. I just do. Since we last spoke, we have had the incident with the Titan submersible, the very tragic incident, and I've mentioned this on my weekly catch-up. What's happened is a tragedy, and the loss of those men is devastating. It's horrible. However, there seems to be a very strange public opinion of this, that this is almost something to mock, something to laugh at, something that it's okay to make fun of, because these were men of substance. These were men of material wealth. So what? So what? Yeah, they were wealthy men. They were, but so? That doesn't make them any less human. That doesn't make the tragedy any less tragic. That doesn't make the grieving of their family and friends and the people who knew them any easier. What happened to human kindness? Those men had the spirit of adventure. That's what they had. Okay, I'd completely understand if this was wealthy people doing wealthy people things, I'd get it. But if you actually look into the backgrounds of those men, they were adventurers at heart. That's what they were. They were part of the adventure club. They were adventurers. And the allure of the Titanic was too much. Now, if you're spending 3 years building a Titanic model, I would imagine you're one of the people that understands what the allure of Titanic is. And if I was a man of means, would I have gone in that sub? Possibly. I couldn't swear that I wouldn't. I mean, I do have very strange views about it, that I don't think it's a tourist attraction. But can I swear to it that if the opportunity presented itself for me to visit the wreck, would I have not taken it? No, I can't swear to that. I don't think any of us could. It's tragic what happened to them, it really is. And it's not something that should be mocked. I mean, the fact that even Subway, the sandwich company, somehow used it as a marketing ploy. I won't tell you what they said, but it was disgusting. These are men that lost their lives, and they have sadly become part of Titanic's tragic history. They just have. It's more souls lost to those depths that didn't need to be lost. I'm not looking at this is whose fault this was, or no, this was a tragedy, and it is part of the history of Titanic now. Like that or not, it is. And the most heartbreaking one for me was the 19-year-old on board. I mean, that's no kind of life. That's my son's only 6 years younger than that. That's no kind of life. And it was Father's Day. It was a gift to his father, and he wanted to spend Father's Day with his father. He wasn't that into going down there, but he wanted to do something with his dad. He wanted an experience with him. And how can anyone mock that? How can anyone make fun of that? Sick. I say at the end of my videos, in a world where you can be anything, just be nice. And I mean it. I do mean it. Because there's too much nastiness in the world. For anyone to take glee or joy or fun in mocking what's happened is disturbing. And that's why I say be nice. Because there needs to be more nice in the world and less nasty. There really does. Sorry to get all heavy, but I mean, the reality of it is we can't skip over that's happened. We can't, because it did. It's happened, and it is part of the history of Titanic now. And I think, again, as people that are building this model over 3 years, we feel the allure, we feel the pull of the Titanic. And I understand. But that's all for this one. Thank you for stopping by. As I said before, if you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. And honestly, genuinely, sincerely, not just as some stupid catchphrase, I say it because I mean it. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice, man. Just be nice. And I will see you very, very soon for issue 70 of Hachette's Build the Titanic. I will catch you then.